I want to follow up on you brought up Nick Nurse, and I'm curious your thoughts on him as Raptors fans. Obviously he makes the move to Philadelphia. They're also having, I think, some more unexpected struggles when you look at what people were projecting at the start of the season. Does it surprise you to see even still what went on with Philadelphia? And how much blame do you maybe assign to Nick Nurse from that outside looking in perspective?
Um, it's it's hard to just like pin it all on Nick in
Sure.
Philadelphia because I think the elephant in the room is clearly Joel Embiid, and he's he's kind of like an energy suck. I feel like, and a lot of times, like it feels like he just doesn't look particularly happy a lot of the time. He's in and out of the lineup. Seems like he kind of decides when he wants to play, when he doesn't want to play. Of course, that comes down to his body breaking down. So I'm not saying that this is just on a whim, but it's hard to sort of run your franchise like that. They've also had like a comical stretch of injuries. So that's gonna be hard for anyone to manage. At the same time, I do feel like with Nick, like he's certainly not the type of coach that's gonna like handhold everybody and sort of like make it a sort of a overly cheery atmosphere. I do feel like he's pretty hard on his players. He's pretty frank when he comes to talking about what needs to be addressed. He does have this. I remember 2019 when he took over from assistant to head coach. He was very proud of saying that year that he had like a toy elephant in his coach's office, and he'd be like, if the players ever need to talk to me, they could just come in, take that toy elephant and put it on the table. Which I know sounds a little bit silly, but I think the root of it is that he wants to sort of like get at sort of the problems like straightforwardly, and yeah, obviously that can lead to some tension if people are unhappy. But I do feel like it's the other part with Nick is just he does love to play veterans, and he really, really likes to play them a lot of minutes. I think it's a little bit similar to a Tom Thibodeau style when it comes to sort of like really trying to wring out every result, especially even in the regular season. And I could see that, like, especially with a team that doesn't have a lot of depth, in particular in Philadelphia right now, that like, that could that could affect things. But I mean, I would say he probably is in the top three, but he's not the top one in terms of the problem.
Yeah, and like that strategy of like playing seven guys, six, seven guys, like, it works. It works for the Knicks because like, the guys mostly have been healthy and it's like a really good starting five. It worked here in Toronto too for a time because like during those years they had great players, but you look at the Sixers, like Embiid's always in and out of the lineup. I think Paul George has been pretty disappointing. Maxi's had a pretty disappointing season. And I think I'm with Will. It kind of just goes back to Embiid. Like he was called out earlier this year in a team meeting for just not setting a good example, for being late. What's up with the punctuality problem in the NBA, by the way? We got Jimmy Butler, punctuality problems. Zion Williamson, perpetual punctuality problems. We got to go back and start taking attendance and stuff, man. All these superstars are just showing up late now. And they're getting fined for it. So, but yeah, it's all Embiid's